One of the major charges, one of the areas where you and the Minister of Transport unite is in your perspective on the current governor of Rivers State, Governor Nyesom Wike. Two of you have really kind of said that, look, the governor is somebody who is perpetuating insecurity. That has been one of the allegations, that he's militant in his approach, imperial in his approach. Now, based on some of the submissions I'm hearing really from both sides, it sounds as though this culture of militancy within the larger political culture in Rivers State continues unabated on both sides of the perspective, of the spectrum. What do you have to say, Senator, about kind of the role of peace, the role of decorum in the political process in Rivers State?
What I have to say is this. I have said before, and I wanted to repeat it here. The crisis in the Rivers APC over these congresses was totally unnecessary. It was deliberately designed to be that way, to show power, because there was absolutely no need for it. If anybody had been called to say, this is how we want to do it, this is what we would do and all that, everybody would have cooperated. But you don't expect people. The system was designed to shut out people and show power. That's all it was about. And for no reason whatsoever, once again, is Rivers State in the news, totally for the wrong reasons. The people that went to the Secretariat, they were there from morning because everybody was desperate to meet up the timeline. Because they said you must submit your form 24 hours before the election that you hope to participate in. And the members of the State Working Committee themselves had held a press conference to say they don't know anything that was going on. So people became apprehensive that this whole delay was designed so that some people will not have access to meet up the deadline, and at the end of the day, they will say you did not meet up the deadline. And nothing was done to try to assuage the feelings of people, to share knowledge, share information.
Let's ask him how that was, because he's already alleged now. Go ahead.
Already you've seen the press conference I granted. I was very eager to do so because I felt that as somebody in charge of the communication of the party, internally and externally, I needed to pass information to our people. That was why I hurriedly held that press conference. So that, and immediately I finished, I sent an announcement by WhatsApp to the radio stations and said, please don't wait, I will pay for it. Please air it every 15 minutes. Rhythm and Nigerian, Love FM. They aired, and people, the feedback I got is that everybody had those announcements, so that they know that sale of forms would begin soonest. But the problem...
What time did you send out?
That was about, I had that thing about 2, 3. Now, the problem we had was how would anybody clear, how would the security clear the confusion, clear the mass of human beings that were already restive at the Secretariat. And even journalists who elected to go and taste the waters were assaulted, and they ran back to the safe location where we were, including your cameraman. They raced back and said, Oga, don't try that place. That place is restive. They even, somebody came to whisper to me that they were planning to burn down the place. And we said, why would people be that angry to the point of burning down their own home?
But you heard, I mean, you know the people who held that, who addressed the rally, so to speak, or addressed the people who were at the gate. Do you know them? Or are they thugs? The
ones that addressed the press with the microphone, I know them, but I do not know several others. And you don't put ruffians together and just send them on an errand. Some people must lead them. Arrests were made that day.
So are you saying that those people were led by ruffians?
And none of them mentioned buying of form. If you listen to the narrative. Did any of them mention buying of form? We have been here since morning, we can't buy. You never had buying of form from them. They were talking about how they should go and mobilize and match them and all that. That wasn't the language, the narrative of, people should bandy at that point. People should rather be talking with the opportunity to talk into the camera. You should be bemoaning your situation that you have been here for long to buy from, and you are unable to buy from. But you never had that.
But Mr. Feinberg, we have seen track-ups where people were asking for nomination forms that they wanted their rights. I know in this report what we saw was different, but we had seen other reports with those track-ups.
But if you even let me go down, Now, when the police, I was right there when information was passed and messages, SOS messages were sent to save the secretary, especially when we got the information that there was plan to burn. In fact, a plastic drum of fuel had been made available, and it was right in front of the building opposite us. That is the OGRW police station. That drum of fuel was there. Now, those who went with forms, let me just finish this. Those who went to brave, to force themselves into the secretariat to sell the forms could not. The police advised them to rescue them into the OGRW police station. They took refuge there. And some of us who had their contact, we are calling. They said, I have 3 numbers I can give you. They said, don't even try it. We are hiding in the police station. We can't access the state secretary to sell forms until we got another message now that they have actually started looting the secretary.
Okay, now let's look at
that. Was when the commissioner of police sent his men to go and ensure that beyond stripping down the secretariat, lives are not lost. That was the intervention at that point. But immediately that finished, we also got calls from the police station opposite that, look, the place is cleared. Those with the forms who were rescued into the police station have crossed over to start selling forms. That was when I got to that place. By the time I got there, the fridge in my office was on the main road. Apparently, they were looting. So when the team from the Commissioner of Police came to, to maintain security, some of them abandoned what they had and ran away. My fridge was on the road.
Mr. Feinborn, if you look at, in the afternoon, by your timeline, by 4 o'clock, some of these very elemental parts of the process had not yet happened with the forms, etc. Now, if you look at some of the kind of social media postings across the board, I mean, you could see at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I know because I was watching it as a journalist, you would see the process going on in several different places, people queuing up in the A4 like you have mentioned. Now, how could that have happened if, by your own admission, the head of the Abuja delegation was not on ground and these nomination forms were not given out?
No. The forms were in Port Harcourt. I didn't say they were to come. We simply wanted them to witness the sale of those forms. But when it became impossible for them to arrive early enough,
you began to hand them out.
We took the bull by the horn to announce through that press conference that, look, we will continue selling, we will start selling these forms. But the big problem then was how to gain access into the secretariat. Our men who went with the forms were rescued by the police into the
Mr. Feinborn, you have
police
not,
station.